Hello, I'd like to show you a new journal just finished making this week, and her name is the Flower Lady. She is one signature, soft cover, 9 inches by 6. There's fabric, lace, wallpaper. There's a lovely lady here that's made by an embroidery machine. This was something that my mom gave me a few years ago. I have a suitcase full of things that she's given me that I'm going to start dipping into. Been thinking about her a lot lately. Called her yesterday and she said she's been thinking about me a lot. She actually said that first. So, yeah. I thought about her a lot while I was making this one. Things like this I think were from her. Maybe even this lace. I don't remember. She's given me so much stuff over the years because we're both avid crafters. But she has dementia now, and she's not able to do the crafting that she was able to do. So I'm just thinking, be grateful for what you can do today. Create beauty. And even if you're not able to craft anymore, you can still create beauty just by saying nice things to people you care about. So my mom is still creating beauty. Inside, we have another lovely garden lady, flower lady. Yeah. She's holding a rabbit. And there's an amaryllis there, and I imagine maybe even someone who's watching this video has an amaryllis blooming right now. I used to grow them myself. This was something I learned from Kathy's garden. I'm going to talk about her a lot, I think, over the next few months because I just love how inspiring she is. And then she doesn't make you feel like you have to use digitals either, because I don't think I used any digitals in this journal. This is book page, and I didn't even have what she uses for here. This is just cereal bag. I wash and dry it and put a washi tape on top here. And lately I've been starting to use some of the things I've had in my stash drawer I forgot about, like brads. There's a little tea-dye note card. And this was something else I learned on Kathy's garden. It's got 3 vintage buttons on it. This is vintage lace, so is this. I think this is too. You make this out of cards. So if you check my playlist, you'll see the tutorial how to do this from her YouTube. Mine isn't exactly the same as hers, of course. But that's the joy of watching tutorials, is that you can figure out your own way to make things. And she encourages people to, be original, do it in a way that works for you. So this is made with calendar, and it's got a wallpaper layer, a double envelope, and fabric, as well as calendar. So the signature is sewn in there really good. And I showed this on a previous video. The pocket that flips so that you don't cover something that you like. Preserving beauty. Postcard. It's a vintage one, made in Germany. 1 cent to mail it for all other countries, 2 cents. Nice. Still a good deal, even if we have to pay a few dollars to mail something, because it means we didn't have to drive there ourselves to deliver it. That's what I say to myself whenever I'm shocked at the post office. Like, nope, it's still a good deal. And I showed how I made this too in a tutorial that was also inspired by Kathy's Garden. And this was inspired by someone else, but I don't remember who. But I think it's in my playlist of tutorials that I love. This is something I did. And as always, my cards are almost always tea-dyed and blank on the back, except as you can see there's pattern from a plastic doily that I tea-dyed with. Little cluster here. This opens up and there is a little journaling booklet here I've sewn together. And this is, I think this is vintage. I think this might have been something my mom gave me. Napkin covered tag, journaling spot, more journaling space. The flip is a perfect thing to do if you want to add a picture too that you don't want to lose what's written on the other side. There's lovely quotes on the back of that. It's a lithograph. And here was something that I haven't done before. This I made up. This is a fun idea. I'm not crazy about making hidden paper clips because I find them a little tricky to use, but they're great if you want to have something on both sides that you don't want to scratch, because having the paper against paper is better than having paper against paper. So what this is, it's got a pocket, a little tag in it, and a little journaling card in it. And then if you lift this up, which you wouldn't notice if these are in there, you've got a hidden journaling spot. Similar to another journaling paper clip that I showed in another video. And I need to do a tutorial for this one too, because that's something I made up, so I think it's fun. And on this side, it has a quote, which goes perfect with this picture, cherish. That could be a mother and daughter, or friends, or sisters. Yeah, reminds me of my daughter and me. Again, if you want to preserve the back, then you can make it into a flip so that you can see both sides. 3 playing cards. They're fun. You can use them to make pockets or make the little booklet like at the beginning there. This is fussy cut picture put on top of book page, and tea bag also put on, layered it with Mod Podge as the glue and as the finish. Sewed a bit of lace on it. Journal card, it's blank on the back. Altered paper clip with a vintage button, and I love that fabric too. And this is a journaling card. And there I made use of one of those brads. They've got like, I must have over 100 little flowers cut out. So if you put 2 together with a brad, it'd be kind of cute. And in this one I also did the white painting with gesso to just dull it down a bit because it was way too shiny, and I like that look. And this is a center. And I've put a dab of glue because I don't remember if this cotton string, whether it works its way untied. So I put a dab of glue there so it's no way going to come untied. And these are cards that I sanded a little bit to help take some of the shine off. And they're tea dyed. Great journal spots. And this page was a bit of an accident that turned into something delightful. And that is, when I was sewing the pocket part, I meant to sew this up here, and I sewed it down here. And then when I saw that I'd sewed it down here, I went, oh, well, maybe that's all right. So sewed one up here, and now it's a great tuck spot. In fact, you can tuck things under there too. So there's a bunch of little mini journal cards. This is from a William Morris style scrapbook. Yeah, from William Morris wallpaper, but this is just scrapbook paper. It's not wallpaper. Vintage buttons. They are so cute. Yeah, it's getting easier to dip into my vintage button collection instead of just keeping them hidden away where no one can enjoy them. Now I'm really enjoying using them in the journals. Printed in England. I think it's a few years old. I'm not sure. It doesn't have a date. And this was just a picture from a magazine. I just love this little old house. It's so cute. All the windows. Obviously has an upstairs. You can see a little window there too. We have an older house too. Has an upstairs. Lots of windows. Just little hand-dyed papers. They are papers I salvaged from a day book I was done with. That's one of my favorite ways to make things, is to use things that I don't have another use for, and I just don't want to throw them in the recycle bin. This was also inspired by Kathy's Garden YouTube. Little journaling card inside. And we have, this was from a magazine that I'd given my mom years ago. Like, the magazine's over 20 years old. And she's always given me magazines. Well, she used to. She's not anymore. And she ended up giving it back to me too, because we both love Victorian look. So, yeah, this makes me think of her. And I happen to have some leftover butterflies I made with music paper. So I thought that goes nice on here. And some vintage rickrack and vintage seam binding. And then I made sure that on the back, if I show that, on the back, I made a spot for writing as well. Did a lot of sewing in this one, which is probably another reason why I've been thinking about my mom more lately, because, man, can she sew? Well, she used to be able to. Like I said, appreciate what you can do while you can, because you never know. You never know the path that we'll end up on later in our life. But we won't walk it alone. Put together this little writing book. And I like this paper in here too. I think it's old stationery from Woodward's. Got a few pads of that. Hope. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. And kind words are never wasted either. This was fun to put together. So this was from a little paperback devotional book that I had. And I added lace, added a fussy cut, inked the edges, zigzagged. Oh, before I did all that, I did some, this is stamping. It looks like I splatter paint, which is something I like to do. But I realized these stamps I have are perfect for giving that splattered paint look without getting paint everywhere. And I used 3 different colors and stamped on it. Perfect background. And my daughter noticed, Mom, she says, it looks just like these flowers. And I didn't notice that till after, but I guess my subconscious may have noticed. Anyways, I liked how that turned out, and it's writing room on the back. My daughter's very talented. She seems to have got a lion's share of it, but she's pretty busy right now, so she doesn't do a whole lot of creative stuff. But I heard her playing the piano the other day, and oh my goodness, she writes her own music, but she hasn't been doing it lately. But she sat down at the piano because she just wanted to see if she remembered one of her compositions, and I just get goosebumps when she plays her music. When people play music that they wrote, there's something magical about it. Here with the theme of the flower lady. I don't know what the color for the flower lady or the garden lady, but I think the flower lady because there's lots of flowers in here. Here's one of my little watercolor samples. I'm late to doing painting in life because my mom, really good painter. So sometimes when someone in your family is really good at something, I don't know whether you just feel intimidated or maybe you feel like, well, there's already a painter in the family, so you might shy away from it. But I'm starting to not shy away from things like that anymore. Because everybody's different. Everybody, has their own way of doing things. It doesn't have to be as good or good quotations as somebody else's. I think the most important thing about art is that it's it kind of imitating the artist who made us, right? Because we're made in his image and we like to create things. And that's something I suspect he's still doing. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what we're going to see after this life? Because I know I want to be able to make things until my time here is done. So I imagine our maker is still making things. So, the flower lady, I think I will put her on my Etsy shop today. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Merry Christmas. In fact, last night after I finished working on this, I thought I was finished on it, and then I added a few more things. I really, really enjoyed working on this. Almost couldn't stop, but look, you can see it was time to stop. But the last night when I put her away, I thought, oh, she makes me think of a overstuffed Christmas stocking. Don't you think? Cheerful, full of goodies, and lots of love. Yeah, that was fun as a kid to have a stuffed Christmas stocking. It was fun to do that for my kids too. Take care. Bye.